over the portal sharing and portal user management flow for your quotations that you send out to the customer directly. So, like I mentioned in the past video, the way that you can um, grant portal access for certain users under an account is by going to the customer. So in this case, we're using ORNL, and you can hit this actions button. You can also go directly to the individual customer that you would like to update. So let's say this testing plus 518 contact, and you can open them up and do the same thing from here. But if you hit this actions and then come down to grant portal access, you can grant and revoke access over here. You can also send a re-invitation email, and then you can also update whether they are marked as a buyer or not. So this is where you can manage permissions as well as grant and revoke access. If you are on the parent customer, then it will allow you to do that for all of the children all at once. So this is a very useful view from ORNL. You can grant and revoke for any of the child contacts so long as they have an email. So you can also update your buyer access versus non-buyer access. So that's how you can manage the portal users and give them access to these documents. Next, what I'm going to show you is how you can actually share these quotations and send a portal link. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either hit the send button here, which will load this modal. You can select who you'd like to send it to, and it will send them the quotation with a link to click on to open the quote as well as a PDF. Or you can, and this is what I've been doing to test, under the actions dropdown, you can hit share and you can grab the link from here and send it to them directly. So I just copied that link so that I can show you how this works. If I open up a private tab and paste in this link, so this is the unauthenticated login or the unauthenticated user view, right? So you send them this link, they open it up, they have not signed in. This is an old quote. I'll fix that. Just move this expiration date out to after today's date, and that red flag will go away once we refresh. Um, the expiration date needs changed. And then now you'll see that this shows green or blue instead. So now this is what they see if they are not signed in and if the login to buy required flag on this estimate is checked. So this will always default to check. So you will have secure quotes or secure estimates always. But if you want to be able to send this as a authenticated link, then you can uncheck this box. And then when they load this link, it's the same link. It will allow them in and allow them to accept and sign, put a purchase order number in and a PDF, sign it, and pay. So that's how you can send a link so that they can pay without having a login. So if you need to sidestep that ever, then you can uncheck this login to buy required, and the same link that you have already sent will work. So no link change, only a setting change on the estimate. If that is checked, however, then they will have to log in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a viewer. So let's say you gave them viewer access and they created an account. This is what this will look like. So they'll be able to view all of the details, but they will not be able to pay it, and they will not be able to sign it or reject or revise the quote. If they are a buyer, however, so if they would like to share this with a buyer, then they can copy this link. And when they copy it, I will close this window so that we can clear out that login, open a new private window, and let's say they just shared this with the buyer, right? One thing you'll notice, and this is in contrast to the cart sharing, is you cannot request access from this link. So we have to manage the quotation portal users directly inside of Odoo. They cannot request an account from here. And that was part of the spec put together after last time's meeting. So if they want to log in, I've also created a buyer under this customer. So if we look at ORNL and we hit grant portal access, you'll see that we have a buyer under testing 519 rather than testing 518. And you can also see that if you're on the quotation or on the estimate, I'm sorry, under portal access, you'll see who is a buyer and who's not. And you can also edit those permissions. So if you want to grant buyer access, you can from here. So this is where you can manage your portal users and their access levels. If there's any pending signups, so when you are sharing a cart, if they request access, those pending signups will show up here. This will also show you all of your available signups that have occurred. Um, so yeah, this is where you can manage those permissions. So I'll sign in now as testing 519 just to show you what this looks like when they are a buyer. So it gives them the acceptance sign and shows them the full quote, as well as a request revision and decline quote button. So that is what it looks like when you are a buyer. If you are outside of the organization, so let's grab this link and I will try and log in as a different organization's user. It will show this. You don't have access to that record. It belongs to a different organization and it will take them to their homepage where they can access the eShop. So this is the full process of sharing quotations and managing portal users for an account. If you have any questions, please let me know.